In this video, we're going to be checking out a new strategy game that gives you the powers of a god. Control everything from the weather to major catastrophic events, all while leading your planet's population through the ages and eventually to the stars. Let's get to it. Hey guys, Tay here back with another game review. Today we're going to be checking out the Universum. Universum is an indie god-style strategy game where you, the player, take on the role of a god. As a god, you'll have to guide the civilization through the ages, starting in the Stone Age and leading them all the way into outer space. Starting the game, you'll first pick your spot on the map, use some of your godly powers to encourage your nuggets to start making little babies, and get your civilization on its way. Your nuggets create their own homes, so that's one less thing a busy deity like yourself has to worry about. However, the other buildings will need to be placed manually. Everything you create on your little planet costs a certain amount of resources, from wood all the way to eventually circuits, steel, and even plastic. So everything in the Universum is depletable. Eventually, you'll run out of things like trees and water, for instance. There are some of your godly powers that you can use to replenish your water supply and even grow new trees to get back to the production of wood or planks. The further you move up the tech tree, the more advanced your manufacturing can become, leading to greater and greater advancements for your little nuggets. One of the biggest worries for me was a constant need for water supply, which eventually led to me draining an entire lake dry. Water in the lakes do eventually fill themselves back up with rainwater, but if you're draining it quicker than it can fill with rainwater, it will eventually become bone dry. The randomly generated maps do not guarantee that there's a plentiful water supply near each other, but if at all possible, it's a good idea to place your civilization near multiple water sources and have a few water pumps on each one to guarantee that you always have enough water to supply the buildings you're creating. Now, the trickle effect god power can replenish those lakes if you're not getting enough rainwater. Basically, you create your own rain whenever your lakes are looking a little bit dry. The further along in the game you get, the more you start to impact the environment. The more trees you cut down, the less oxygen is produced. The more steel refineries that you place, the more smog is pumped into the air, which will in turn reduce the quality of oxygen for your little nuggets. Eventually, they'll become sick from breathing in polluted air. There are a few ways to counteract the pollution. One is to simply grow more trees. Growing trees will increase air quality and produce more oxygen. The second way of doing it is by placing little gardens around your world. Not only does it help to produce clean air, it's also a nice little happy place where your nuggets will want to hang out. In the Universum, some things are just out of your control. There are certain ecological disasters that you can't do anything to prevent. However, you can help to defend against them. Some of your powers are not used for helping the little nuggets, they're much more offensive. You can call in lightning or fire to destroy an enemy civilization that sprung up on the map. Or you can straight up drop a meteor shower on them and make sure it flattens the whole area. It's up to you. Now, when a natural disaster like a tornado or a stray meteor shower happens to be threatening your civilization, you can use one of your godly powers, the Dome Shield, to prevent it from leveling your whole city. You wouldn't want to put all that time and effort into your city and then have it be leveled by a meteor shower. There are even locust swarms that will ravage your food supplies and leave your little nuggets going hungry if you don't do something about it. However, you have a power to take care of those little critters too, your lightning strike. Zap those little bugs as soon as you see them to ensure that they don't gorge themselves on the food you've worked so hard to collect. Throughout your gameplay, the world will be constantly evolving as you work your way through the tech tree. With humble beginnings, your nuggets first start off in tiny little rock huts. Eventually, you'll enter the modern age where all your tiny little rock dwellings turn into massive skyscrapers. The further along you get, the more modern everything becomes. Make sure to plan ahead though. If you don't get your resources ready before winter hits, you might just end up losing a few people from your civilization due to the harsh environment. Everything from the cold temperatures to starvation and even wild animal attacks, it's a dangerous world you're building. You could, of course, just kill off all the dangerous wild animals, which will cause them to go extinct. However, if you kill off all the animals, you have to remember that they're a pretty good place to get food, especially in the winter. So make sure to weigh the pros and cons before deciding to mass murder the animals. As of right now, in this stage of beta development, they have not introduced the space aspect of the game, though eventually you'll be able to send your nuggets far and wide into the deep expanses of space to explore the universe and find other planets that you can inhabit. As in real life, each planet is different, some lush with vegetation and plenty of animals to sustain your nuggets, where others are harsh, barren, and not so friendly. You'll have to build drones, rockets, and much more in order to send your nuggets to the stars. However, that's not here yet. As of right now, you're confined to your own little planet. As of the last update though, they've added in diseases to make your hospitals rejuvenating powers and the gravediggers bigger players in the game. As nuggets die and lay there to rot, they infect the areas where they lay, and anyone that walks through their decay becomes sick. If you don't have plenty of hospitals and gravediggers, these infections could lead to you losing a huge portion of your nugget population. Unfortunately, I do wish the space stuff was already in the game. At the moment, it does feel as though a huge chunk is missing. At a certain point, you will run out of non-renewable resources such as iron and oil, so there is a point where you can no longer do anything in terms of production. It would be nice if there was at least a few other planets that you could get to right now in order to continue your game. All in all though, I really find this game to be a lot of fun. The nuggets all have their own personalities, traits, and quirks, which makes each one different from their parent. Some are better at building, where others are better at farming. Then I'll make sure to not let a lazy one be the town guard. You wouldn't want him falling asleep at the wrong time. Along with the game being tons of fun, the devs have a great sense of humor. From the dialogue of the narrator to the random signs that hang up on your skyscrapers, I found myself laughing more than a few times at all the random jokes within the game. In my opinion, this game is tons of fun till you hit that brick wall. As soon as more of the things the devs are planning to add to the game are implemented, the Universum will be one hell of a great game. Now, what do you guys think? Have you played this game? If so, what's your opinion? And what would you like to see added in order to make it a better game? Let me know down below. With that being said, have a great rest of your day or night, depending where and when you're watching this, and I hope you enjoyed this little video. See you in the next one. Later.